And hello again, everyone. Welcome into this week's edition of Panther Pride, our weekly look at Wellborn football here on TV 24. Mickey Shadricks along with Wellborn head coach Jeff Smith. Last Friday night, Wellborn taking on Randolph County in region action, losing the game by a final score of 28-7. Coach, let's talk about the game. This was a Randolph County team that we've been talking about all year. Their only loss to Piedmont. They're putting a lot of points on the board that come to your place. And this was a close ball game for a while. Your kids really came out, answered the bell, played hard, competed hard against a very talented Randolph County team. Well,
I mean, I felt like last Sunday that after we watched them and watched how our kids were getting better, that we would play them well. And that's exactly what we did. You know, the first half was 7-7, and I think first quarter right into early in the second quarter. And then we went at halftime, and it was 13-7. And then we came out the second half, and they scored on us, and then we had a miscue on a kickoff return, and they got it and got another score on us. And then we kind of stalemated the rest of the game right there, and it ended up being 28-7. But I was very proud of how our kids went out there and played and performed, and you know, it was a good night for them. Senior night too.
Another week where your kids just show a lot of resiliency. Even though you've had a very tough schedule, know you're not going to the playoffs, there has just been no quit in these kids of yours. And then you obviously playing a very talented Randolph County team. Talk about the heart of your kids. I know you got to be proud.
Well, through the whole year, this has been a year where after we come in after games and stuff, we hadn't had to really break them, you know, beat them down or get on them because they're trying so hard. Their effort, we have not had poor effort in any football game this year. They've all went out there and tried as hard as they can. Again, back to our team, we've got 9 seniors, and then the rest of the team is 9th and 10th graders. And these are 9th and 10th graders that have not played in varsity competition till this year. And if you look at our season and look at some of our scores and you look at the top teams we played, we're continually to get better. And you know, the experience is going to help us. And this season, even though it's disappointing, we're not going to make the playoffs and we've got a losing record this year. This season will be the foundation of the good seasons we got in front of us.
And you mentioned it was senior night, your last home game of the season. Small group of seniors on this year's team. Talk about that group.
Well, you know, and I've told our seniors this, and I know they're disappointed that we're not making the playoffs because they care. But I don't want this season, basically, which has been a rebuilding season, to tarnish what they've been able to accomplish. You know, these group of seniors, they went with us when we went and played in the Champions Challenge at Crampton Bowl in Montgomery. They've been a part of a quarterfinal football team. I mean, they've been a part of some big playoff wins. I mean, so they've been a part of a lot of good things that we've been able to accomplish. They just hit their senior year where there's a gap, you know, but with our older kids and our younger kids, and it's just tough right now. But again, our future's bright. And I want our seniors to walk away and be better for being with us and not be with us, but I also want them to remember all these good times we've had.
All right, we'll take a break, come back with highlights of Wellborn and Randolph County from the first half on Friday night as we continue on Panther Pride. And it is senior night out at the Hill, final home game this year for the Wellborn Panthers hosting Randolph County.
Started off, had a really good play to start the game off right there with Kid Harris, and here Jet comes out here on a sprint pass and it's not open. He pulls it down, has a good little run right here, and you can see he's really moving down the side there.
Protecting that football team.
He always does, yes. Here, this was a good play that we had here, a zone read play here, and made a good read, and Kid had a good first down on it. We was forced to punt, and this right here, we had a bad snap and mishandled it right there, but we had enough to them to keep it together right there and still get the punt off. And this is how good Randolph County is. This number 24, this was the second play of the game, and they ran a lead play right here and got it sealed right there, and he's off to the races. Number 24 that they got, number 1 they got, they are 2 fine backs and extremely strong in their legs. They had a fumble right here. We were able on it. This is Bryce Hill. He's one of our few juniors we got right here. It's really improved a lot this year. Here we have a punt here. We got it, went 3 and out right there. They punted, had a mishandle on it. Bailey Neely, a freshman, jumps on the ball right there. That's a good play there for us. And we drive it in here and see Kid here having a big first down here and getting the ball, down there, I think about the 15-yard line. And then we ran a fullback trap play right here, and Jermaine Craig bust through there on some very good blocking on our offensive line and got the game to 7-7. They come back here again. This is the other good back that they got, that number 1, and you can just see, look at him from the waist down, how strong his legs are. And, number 1 and number 24, they were just strong backs. Randolph County, we played them last year, and they did an excellent job from one year to the next as far as in the weight room. And that's what we've got to have this offseason ourselves. It's a good offseason and get our kids a little stronger. Here's that number 24 again. He was almost off to the races here, and we get him down by leg. Again, strong legs. They just you can see them from the waist down. The thighs and calves are just strong. And right here, Javion made a good tackle here. They try to end around. Logan Brooks, a freshman, stays at home, makes a good tackle, and the game ends up 13-7 at halftime.
And anybody's game at this point at halftime. You talk about that number 1 and number 24. Those two guys, they could play in any classification. That's how physically gifted they are.
Absolutely. And we see what our 9th and 10th graders have played against Randolph County from our Little League teams all the way up to present right here. So we've kind of seen these players develop and everything. And from last